Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Stan DeJarnett, and it's my privilege to chair the State Board of Education meeting here on June the 13th. We have several guests with us this morning, and when I call your name, if you would stand or wave or identify yourself. First, our friends, Rodney Kay from the Gale Organization. Glad to have you here, Rodney. Dr. Shanna Downs with West Georgia RESA and the RESA directors. J.D. Harden with Cognia. Claire Buck with GASIS. Let's see, Robert Acock with Page. Robert. Beth Haynes with Decoding Dyslexia, Georgia. Good morning, Beth. Mila Cash Williams with the University System of Georgia. Welcome, Mila. Glad to have you with us. And then we have three other very special guests, actually four. Tyler Ellis with the Murray County Schools. Tyler, welcome. And Brooke Young with the Murray County Schools. Brooke, glad to have you with us. Daniel Skojak. And Bradley Flood with the Murray County. And they're going to deliver our inspiration in just a few minutes. Daniel and Bradley, we're very glad to have you with us today. And they'll provide a whole lot more detail, and I think you're really going to enjoy what they have for us today. Are there any other guests that I failed to recognize? I know we have some staff in the audience. Okay. I'm now going to turn this over to Fenna Petty, our vice chair, who not only represents the 14th Congressional District, but she is a Murray County girl. So we're going to ask her to recognize our guests today and help them deliver our inspiration.
Good morning, everyone. Glad you're here. It's summertime, so it's time off, right? No, CTAE's competitions are just gearing up. Atlanta will host again the National Skills USA, the 26th, I believe, 26th of this month. And the next 2 years is also going to be here. So if anyone gets the chance to attend the Nationals, you will see wonderful young men like these representing our country and winning. So I have Daniel Skojak and Bradley Flood. They are two-time state first place digital cinema winners, and last year they came in third in the nation. I'll let them kind of tell their story. But Bradley is at Dalton State Environmental Science. Daniel is at Notre Dame studying aerospace engineering. And just FYI, Stan and I both want to go to space. So get a really good job and send Stan and I just
Just ticking, by the way.
really fast.
Is it a one-way trip?
Most likely. Tyler Ellis was actually one of the first teachers I had the privilege of hiring after I came to CTAE director. So he's also always had a special place in my heart. I've known him since he was little. And Brooke Young, she was a Spanish and ESOL. She has been several numerous leadership roles, and she's currently the assistant principal at North Murray High School and the CTAE supervisor. And I could go on and on about all of these, but I want to turn it over to them and let you see and hear the great things that they're doing. So at this time, Brooke Young, Tyler Ellis, Bradley Flood, and Daniel Skojak.
Good morning. I am Brooke Young. As she said, I am the assistant principal at North Murray High School. I am also the CTAE supervisor. Thank you for inviting us to share. Thank you for your continued support of CTAE at the state level. Special thanks to Ms. Fenna Petty. You all know that she's a champion of CTAE across the state, but she is a champion of all students in Murray County, and we are indebted to her and thankful for her generosity. Every time that we need something, we know that we can call her. It doesn't matter what it is, and she's always eager to help us. As CTAE supervisor, I get the opportunity to work with incredible teachers and students, not only in the classroom, but also in our CTSO events. And those are our career and technical student organizations. North Murray High School boasts state placers every year. We're super excited about that. I'm actually headed to Nationals in Seattle at the end of this month for FCCLA for culinary, so I'm very excited about that as well. But what these students, Daniel and Bradley, have achieved is really unparalleled at North Murray through Skills USA. We are very proud of them. We're very proud of what they've created and how it represents Murray County. And I'm very proud of their teacher, former teacher, Tyler Ellis, who happens to be my little brother, and I will let you hear from him.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to share these remarkable students and how talented they are. As Brooke said, I was the former audio-video teacher and Skills USA advisor at North Murray High School. So throughout the years, I had the privilege of guiding students through numerous contests, and we had a lot of great success, but none more so than Bradley Flood and Daniel Skojak and the success that they had at the digital cinema competition. A little background about digital cinema. It is the most competitive contest at Skills USA for audio-video students. The students are tasked with creating a 4 to 5 minute short film based on guidelines and prompts provided by Skills USA and their industry partners. Their freshman year, Bradley and Daniel produced a couple of videos in my class that already demonstrated really great storytelling ability, so I thought that they would be some good candidates to participate in this contest. So as freshmen, they competed at Digital Cinema and placed third in the state, which in itself is a great achievement. Their sophomore year, they competed again, and they won first in the state. So we went to nationals that year. They placed 14th in the nation. Their junior year, COVID prevented us from competing, but they came back. They persevered their senior year and won first again. And then we went to nationals last summer, where they won third in the nation. The cool thing about last year's competition was, they're going to tell you more about the guidelines they had, but the film that they made was screened for Francis Ford Coppola and his production company. And we were told that we would also potentially have other opportunities with Francis Ford Coppola's production company. I think he's been busy down here in Atlanta filming a big movie, so we're still waiting to hear from him, but hopefully we do soon. About Skills USA, it had such a tremendous impact on my teaching and my curriculum, and the impact it's had on these students and others was just profound. Participation in Skills USA enhances the students' readiness for college and career, and we are just regardless of their career path. So like these guys, they had a great experience doing film, but neither one of them, as you heard, have pursued film. But the skills that they learned in that class and by competing in those competitions, has prepared them for whatever they want to do in life, whether it's building rockets or whatever. So we just want to thank you for recognizing the importance of CTAE and Skills USA, and for recognizing these students and their work, and for showing it today. And thank you, Finna, for allowing these students, playing a part in that opportunity that they had too. We really appreciate it. Thank y'all. And I'll let you hear from Bradley and Daniel now.
All right, thank you. I'm Daniel Skojak. I'm a proud North Murray alumni. And before me and Bradley here began competing at the state and national level, we were just students within the CTAE program in the audio-video pathway. And we kind of had some interest in the field, but then we took a field trip to the Georgia Film Academy here in Georgia, and we started to notice how fast the industry was growing here, and we became interested in maybe being a part of that. So we enrolled in the digital cinema competition through Skills USA, and through that competition, our freshman year, like Mr. Ellis said, we placed third, and we began to realize that maybe we actually have a knack for this kind of thing. So we continued, and we were hooked, and we've been competing since then, since our freshman year. And because of the unfortunate situation with COVID, we weren't actually able to attend the conference in person until this last year, our senior year. And When we did that, we took home the state championship and advanced to nationals. And through that experience, we got to meet with professionals within the industry, and it was really cool. We got to see kind of what it was like to actually work within that field. We also got to meet with other students across the country who had that same similar passion as us. And I think through that, we gained a lot of valuable skills and learned a lot of lessons. And we gained experience working like under a tight deadline, and we learned to handle high pressure situations. And Bradley will talk more about that. But going into the national competition, we were a little bit intimidated just because we were up against other schools with super high quality film equipment, expensive stuff, and we're just a Title I school. But we believed in our skills nonetheless, and we were able to take home some hardware for our county. And I think we're really proud of that. So I'll hand it over to Bradley here, and he'll introduce you to the film.
Yeah, exactly. Like he said, we won state this last year, and after that, we were hooked, man. We were excited. After winning that, and actually being able to go to the conference and be here in Atlanta and go on that stage and get those medals, that really, all we could think about was getting ready for nationals, competing then. And we got ready for the summer and to come and stuff, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, some of the schools that were competing in the national, in this competition, had less time than the other schools due to some issues and things, and we were one of the schools affected by that. In fact, we only had around 3 or so days to make this film once we finally all got together to write this and film it, edit it, all the things we needed to do. So we really had to take inventory of what we had and make a few phone calls. But thankfully for us, we live in a pretty tight-knit community, and a lot of helping hands really reached out to help us make this opportunity possible. And with this film specifically, these films, like he said earlier, come with certain criteria that you have to follow to guide you in the filmmaking process. And with this one specifically, we had to do it in the style of Francis Ford Coppola, more specifically his film Tucker, A Man in His Dream. And the film also had to display a positive message of some kind. So with those few things to go off of, we really worked meticulously for a good couple days, and I think we did pretty all right with what we were given. But none of this really would have been possible, though, without the community we had, the hard work we put in, and for our wonderful sponsors and the generosity of Fenna Petty. So thank you, Fenna, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. And now, the moment you all been waiting for, On the Fence.
Looks like another rock.
Well, I think it's your turn to get it.
I think this one's all you, man.
Stupid rock. Stupid fence. Stupid old man Parker having us out in the sun all day. Hey, Danny. This is a weird looking rock.
What? Need my help digging, man. Just say it. What are you talking about? What the? That's no rock.
That's mine. Hey, I want to found it. Give it here. That's mine. Give it here. Give it here. Hey.
Calm down, man. You don't even know what's in it.
We'll open it up then. I mean, do you know what this means?
Where are we gonna go, dude? What are we gonna do with all of this?
Oh, I know. We'll hit Vegas and we'll live like kings.
be responsible. We could further our education. We could go to college like Mom always wanted.
Are you serious? You gotta think bigger. I mean, hey, dude, we can buy our own boat. We can buy our own lake.
We should invest it, man. We could make even more money.
Don't worry about all that, man. We can be sitting pretty. Don't you want all this? Cannonball!
We gotta be smart about this, man. We can start our own ranch, set ourselves up for life.
Really, man? You want to do this the rest of your life?
I don't know, man. I guess not, but still, I really think we should do something responsible with it, man. You know, we shouldn't just waste it all. You know, it's a life-changing amount of money. We can't just blow it all.
Hey, what's a re-crap?
Let me see that. Oh, man. It says Parker, like the old man. This doesn't belong to us. It's his.
And so? We's the ones that found it.
It doesn't matter if we found it, man. It doesn't belong to us. You know what? I'm taking it back to Mr. Parker right now.
Oh, no, you ain't.
Look how the money's come between us, man. We found this together.
Come on, man. Let's take it together.
We can't, dude. It's not the right thing to do. It's not how we were raised. Come on, brother.
Take it to old man Parker together.
I've climbed the mountain, walked the place from dawn to setting sun. I wandered the dusty roads of life. My journey's almost done. I'm here by the river Jordan.
There's no war so hateful as a war between.
And we'll now do our pledge and our prayer.
Pledge first. Yeah.
Pledge,
Yeah.
pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, I come to you in prayer today to thank you for this opportunity to be here, Lord, to have this meeting, God, and to have all the people you have here, that you would have to be here today, Lord, that they are here, Lord. I thank you for the wonderful school year we had this past year, Lord, and I thank you for the opportunity, Lord, just to be able to see it through and to have this next one. I pray that you be with the students, Lord, going into this next school year, the 2024-2025 school year, as well as the teachers and staff. Help us, Lord, to educate these students, Lord God, and teach them in a right and helpful manner, Lord, that, Lord, we may honor you, Lord, with how we do these things, Lord. Please just guide us and keep us in our ways, Lord. Be with the safety and health of all of us, God, and help us, Lord, just to see your plan through. Lord, I love you, and I thank you for this day and all that you've done and will continue to do for us. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen.
And if you guys could just hang around for a little while, I'd like to get some pictures. Thank you. I hope everybody enjoyed that.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. All right. Thank you both, gentlemen, and teachers that worked with them, and the community that's behind all this. None of that's lost on us. I just want you to know that. And we look forward to a photo op with you in just a few minutes. There is no public hearing scheduled for this month, so we will not have a time for public comment. And now it's time for us to begin building the committee of the whole agenda. As I call on each committee member for a report, just please indicate which items are recommended for the consent agenda and which items, if any, will be moved forward for a separate vote or other action. I'll start with the Budget Committee, and Mr. Downey, in our Budget Committee Chair and Vice Chair's absence, I know they're joining us virtually. Would you mind taking us through the Budget Committee, please?
Mr. Chairman, we met yesterday, the Budget Committee did, and we have moved items 1 through 27 to the consent agenda.
Items 1 through 27 to consent. Thank you, Mr. Downey. Rules Committee, Mr. Valadares.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the Rules Committee, we're moving items 1 through 5 to the consent agenda.
Items 1 through 5 are being moved to consent. Thank you, Mr. Valadares. Charter Schools and District Flexibility, Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are going to pull item number 1 for a separate vote. And the way that we're going to do this is move for approval of 127 of the systems, with the exception, we'll approve 127, vote to approve. And then for a separate vote as a group, we'll vote separately for the 1-year contracts for Bibb County, Richmond County, and Talbot County.
All right, what about the other flexibility items?
The other flexibility items, number 2 through 5, will be moved to the consent agenda.
All right, so items 1 through 5 will be moved to the consent with the exception of the 3 systems, 1-year contracts listed in the strategic waiver, item number 1. Is that correct?
1 is pulled in its entirety.
1 is pulled in its entirety.
Yes, so only items 2 through 5 are moved to the consent agenda.
Okay. Item 1 will be pulled for a separate vote. Items 2 through 5 will be part of the consent agenda. Did I get that right?
We're bifurcating the approval, so it'll be approval for 127 systems that have more than a 1-year contract.
Okay.
And then we'll vote separately as a group on the 3 that only have a 1-year contract recommendation.
2 separate votes as indicated for item 1.
Right.
Okay. All right. Now, executive session items. Mr. Donaldson, are you with us?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning. Do you have a recommendation for the executive session item, sir?
I do. I make a recommendation to move the following to the consent agenda: the individual student waivers, the minutes of the May 8th, 2024 executive session, the minutes of the May 2024 State Board meeting, the June 2024 personnel report, and the June 2024 legal report, with the exception of 2 legal appeals that are being pulled for a separate vote: 2024-43, 2024-46.
All right. Any questions about that from the rest of the board members? All right. While the staff is putting together the final agenda for the committee as a whole, let's move on to reports. The Superintendent Woods was going to join us virtually this morning, but they're having some technology issues where he is. So I'm going to go ahead and do my.
Hang on, he's here. He's here.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, then
He's with me.
Superintendent Woods, I yield the floor.
Okay. Well, appreciate, again, being with our fellow board members down here at our first district or Southern Superintendent's Conference. Again, today we would like to allow Miss Christy Todd to come and make a small presentation as she kind of finishes out her year as our Teacher of the Year. Just an amazing individual that I know we've all gotten to know and love over the past year. You know, what can we say about Christy? You know, an amazing 2020 or Amazing Teacher of the Year that represented our profession with great diligence and professionalism class, but not only throughout the state, but also throughout the nation, as she was one of our top 4 finalists for Teacher of the Year nationally. So at this time, Christy, I will turn it over to you, and if you can share a little bit, as you always have. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Woods. You know, the first time I got off of this elevator on floor 20, the first thing that I saw that greeted me was a wooden teacher's desk and 2 student desks. And Superintendent Woods told me the reason for that was because he always wanted to make sure that whoever walked in this room saw outside of the room a reminder that the work that we do in here is for teachers and students. And today when I got off the elevator, again, for the last time, being on this board as Georgia Teacher of the Year, I saw that desk again. And I was just so grateful that our governor, that our legislators, that our State Board of Education, that our Department of Education believes that a teacher's desk shouldn't only be outside of this boardroom, that it should also be inside of it. And it has been an honor to serve. Thank you to my colleagues on the State Board for giving me space at your desk and for encouraging me to lean in and to use my voice to represent over 123,000 teachers across Georgia. Thank you for the work that you do, the tireless service, the hours that you give that go oftentimes unrecognized. So thank you for years of service that you have given to this room and to our teachers. To the Department of Education, Superintendent Woods, Matt Jones, all of the staff who have really supported me, made me feel welcome. Specifically, I'd like to thank Megan Frick and her department who oversee the Teacher of the Year program, and the facilitators who worked with me this year, Don Ashmore and Arlesia Brooks, who really supported me and made me feel special. So Megan, thank you for all that your department has done and continues to do. And then to the people who are in this room, you know, the first time you walk in, there's a lot of faces you don't know, and now I know all of them. Thank you for inviting me to speak at your conferences, to answering questions that I may have, whether it's nonprofits or governmental partners, parent organizations. Your work is so important to build connections across our state for public school education. So today is a little bittersweet, but I am excited for another teacher to step in and have this opportunity. You are going to love Holly Witcher from White County. She has literally taught, I think, every class there is to teach. And right now she's a special education teacher. So her knowledge and her passion for students is going to be an asset to this board. And it's really going to be an asset to all of our teachers across the state as she represents them. So as some of you told me last night, once a Georgia Teacher of the Year, always a Georgia Teacher of the Year. You aren't going to get rid of me that easily. This is not the end, and I would welcome the opportunity to continue to serve alongside you in whatever way I can as we work together to make Georgia the #1 state for teachers to work and the #1 place for students to learn. Thank you.
Superintendent, any comments?
Dan?
Yes.
Hey, it's Helen. I'd just like to say thank you to Christy. And she brought a lot to this board and taught us a lot. And I've truly been blessed that she's close down the road to me. And just appreciate everything she's done. And thank to all the staff there and everyone that's worked so graciously with her and the colleagues, as she's mentioned. It's been a great year, and she will be greatly missed.
Thank you, Helen. Any other board members that have joined us virtually would like to take a moment of personal privilege? Any board members in the room that would like to take a minute? Ms. Kennemore.
Christy, I just want to say thank you for just all of the work and all of the support that you've given us on this board. There were some things coming from your point of view as a teacher that impacted us and the decisions that we've made around this table. And I just want to thank your husband for his support, and your son for his support of you being here and being a part of the work that we do. And we look forward to engaging and working with you in ongoing whatever projects that may arise. And I just want to thank you, your parents too. They're such sweet and gracious people, and it was a joy to meet them at the Teacher of the Year Gala. And they are so proud of you, and we are so grateful for you. God bless you.
Anyone else? Mr. Sweeney?
You know, one of the things that you shared when you talked about walking in the door, you left out part, and it was this overwhelming part about the responsibility, because you just kind of said, what did I get myself into? But last evening, Christy said, she goes, I realize I kind of like this. Because you know, we have an incredibly passionate board, but you brought that passion to your position, and just extraordinarily grateful for everything you did.
Mr. Royal?
Not only did you bring passion, you brought perspective, and I appreciate it. You've done a great job. You're very talented. Your district's lucky to have you, and I just appreciate you sharing some of that talent and wisdom and perspective you have with me. Thank you.
Ms. Petty?
I just want to say that you're a light in any room that you're in. You bring a light, you bring your knowledge, and you share it freely. You don't hold on to it, you share it. Thank you for the year that you've served with us. You've made me a better person. I think you've probably made all of us better. Everybody in the state of Georgia is better for knowing you and having heard you. So thank you.
Rich?
Thank you as well, Christy. I think we started about the same time. So I've learned so much from you, and hearing your perspective from a teacher's point of view that has educated me very quickly on some issues that maybe I was looking at from a different perspective. And I will rely on you in the future, and I hope to see you many times as we work forward in the future on the board.
Yeah, and I just say that I love it anytime we have any teachers from the arts, because I think the arts, drama, music, filmmaking, any of that kind of stuff brings such a long-term relationship for students and for teachers, because the students you have are so blessed because they don't just have you for one semester. They may have you for the entire time they're in school, and those are the teachers that really make impacts on students. So thank you for that, and it's been a joy knowing you.
Mr. Downey?
Thank you for serving, but when I think about how they changed the law to incorporate the Teacher of the Year, and we've been very fortunate that we've had for the past 3 Teachers of the Years that we've had that have served full terms, bringing that perspective, bringing the classroom perspective, and you've done a wonderful job of keeping it in perspective. I mean, to have a teacher to sit on the board with us as we talk about the things we're doing that impact the teachers, and then we get that perspective. I don't know how we did it before, and you have done a wonderful job, and you did us proud when you went to DC. We're very proud of you. You are the National Teacher of the Year, in my opinion.
Yep.
But you're our Teacher of the Year, and we appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Well, I'll close by seconding everything that's been said, and it'd be difficult for me to add any of that. I certainly agree with all the comments that have been made. It's been a long-held belief of mine that adults behave better and act better when there are students in the room. But it's also that policymakers behave better when there's a teacher in the room. And I think we have made better decisions. I would agree with Jason. I think maybe the best legislation ever has been the one that brought the State Teacher of the Year as an ex officio member of this board. And every year we go through this, and when it's time to say goodbye, I always wonder, how is the next state teacher of the year going to raise the bar any higher than it's already been set? Because we've had some outstanding teachers of the year. You've raised the bar. Those of you that have had the chance to hear Christy speak know what an articulate and passionate public speaker she is. So she's got a skill set that is, she's got a lot of tools in the toolbox. And I know this is maybe the end of your service as State Teacher of the Year. And you've handed off the baton in a very classy way to Holly, and we look forward to working with her. But I don't think this is goodbye. I just have a feeling we're going to be staying in touch with you. We're going to hear from you again, because the platform that you've created for teachers is a solid one. It's one we all need to be mindful of every time we get together to deliberate. But on a personal level, I think we've all become friends as well. And friends are not separated by distance or by protocol. They're brought together by a common bond. And I just can't tell you thank you enough for what you've done for your profession, for our work, and for the whole image of teaching in Georgia. You've really raised the bar, and we thank you for that. So, Christy, Godspeed and good luck to you as you go back to what I hope will be a little more of a normal life. But I know you've changed, and you've been changed by the experience you've had. I'm sure this will happen to Holly as well. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you. We have somebody online. Yes.
Again, Mr. Chairman, that's the end of the superintendent's report today.
Well, it's going to be really tough to follow that one, Superintendent Woods. But thank you for bringing this to us and giving us this opportunity. I'm going to segue into my report by recognizing a man that's been on this board for an entire generation of public school students. The students that graduated from high school in May were in kindergarten when Mike Royal joined the State Board of Education. That's an entire generation of public school students. So if you want to calculate the impact that one person can have as a board member, as a committee chair, as the chairman of the state board, it's really hard to quantify the impact that Mike Royal has had on this board. And the only reason he's not finishing out this term is that he chose to move out of his congressional district and into mine. But that's good for us, because it means I'll be able to continue to call on his counsel as we move forward. But I do want to take a moment of personal privilege and just say, Mike, I know this is your last board meeting officially as a state board member. We're going to bring you back in September when we have our next meeting here and recognize you in a little more of a formal way. But I would like to give you the opportunity to make some remarks if you choose to do so. If it's in your interest to do that.
No, I thank you, Mr. Chair. Coming back, I think for the apple, I want my apple.
You earned it.
And in September, but one of my fears about today, thinking about what I was going to say, is following Christy. Guys, you're one of the best speakers I've ever heard, and the reason is it comes from your heart. It's not just words on paper. And that's one thing that I've learned. I've learned so much on this board. It has made me a better person. I've learned that true leadership's not in your head, it's in your heart. And if you lead that way, other people will follow. They're not just going to follow, but they'll have a seat at the table, because the John Maxwell, everybody knows the quote, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And there's a lot of truth to that. But what I would add to that is showing you care is from your heart. You can't make that up. Because it was 4,000
846 days ago that I had my first state board meeting. I got off that elevator and thought, what the hell did I just get myself into? Because when Governor Deal asked me to come on the state board, I really was like, why me? Because if you'd have told me 4,890 days ago I'd be on the State Board of Education, I'd have told you you're crazy. But I've also always said, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. And that was a generation ago. Some of the texts that I've gotten this morning and last night from people that aren't here in this room that were former board members, not just former board members, but former staff, people that dealt with in the legislature, has been incredible. It really has. I've gotten way more out of this than I've given to it. I've given everything I had. I don't want to start counting hours, particularly Mr. Chair, Mr. Former Chair. My favorite title is former chairman of it, but now it's, they say I'm in a situation in life where it's time. It's time for the best for me and my family to move to our next chapter, and that is going to be closer to the lake, closer to my daughter, who I'm very proud, because talk about that generation. I'm thinking about it. She just graduated, and she is almost halfway through her sophomore year in college. That opportunity for her was not available in 2011. 2011, our high school graduation rate was 67.4% as a state. It's up 17 basis points. And there's no I in that. Somebody was in that seat when I got here, and somebody will be in it in the next meeting. It's not my seat, it's not your seat. That seat belongs to the teachers and the kids and the stakeholders of the state of Georgia. And that's what you got to keep your eye on, that ball, and your eye on that when you go, because this job is enormous. Martha, this morning at breakfast, you've been here 3 years, you're still learning. Stan, I remember the last meeting or something that caught me, because I remember you saying, I did not realize that on some of the things we were dealing with, and that this job is enormous. That book in front of Lisa right there. Lisa, hold that up. That's the state laws pertaining to school. It is 940 pages. And here's a little fun fact. If you look in the appendix under Act of God, it says distribution of federal funds. It really does. But there are so many state board shall. And as we know from the last few legislative sessions, they added a lot more, state board shall. One of the things I challenge you to do as a board, we have so many folks that come in. Rich, I know we were talking at dinner. You said, I would have never thought I'd be on the State Board of Education. I really, really want to applaud Governor Kemp for the people he's been appointing. The toolboxes y'all have come with are incredible. There's not a toolbox that can prepare you for that 904 that can completely prepare you for those 940 pages. It's not possible. So I really challenge you to try to come up with some type of orientation system for not even just new board members, but current board members, whether it's taking a bite of a department or a segment or something at one time and going over, and if it's even quarterly or doing something to do that so that you can get that aha, I didn't know that, and to help make you better, because all of you, I have no doubt with the decisions and the processes that go on and that happen behind that door that affect kids, it'll flush out very quickly if anybody around this table is here for a reason other than the best interest of kids. And that's not the case. Every one of you is. But every one of you are really good and talented people. And I wish I could I said this one, I wish I could download this DOE file to somebody. I don't know who I'd want to curse with it, but do it, because it is. It's been a lot, but it has given me way more. The lifelong friends that I have,
is way more valuable than any hour that I've given in this job. I'll say thank you. I'll be back. You're not getting rid of me. Stan particularly. Be in the district. I'll be working in government affairs on my insurance job across. I'm going to be, actually, they just voted on it. I'm going to be on the board of the Charter School Association, State Georgia Charter School Association. I'm going to continue to try to give, and I'm going to continue to really push on the mental health, telemental health resources for the kids that don't have access to it, that need it so badly. I'm not going away, because it's like Johnny Isaacson told me when I became chairman. I was in DC, and he so graciously invited me to his office, and we spent about 45 minutes together. You know, I was chair before he went on, and he said, Mike, one of the only things that's going to get this out of your system is embalming fluid. Great man, great mentor, another great leader that sat right there. And it's my honor to really call you friends. And I look forward to this next chapter in my life, but also don't think I won't call you and tell you. I'm not a wallflower, as everybody in here knows. If you want to know what I think, sometimes you don't even have to ask. I'm going to do it. But have that passion, have that thing, because you are the people, the kid that doesn't have a chance except education. You have to represent that kid and do it. Thank you.
Let's take, I know we're gonna have Mike back in September, and I know we could, I don't wanna give everybody the opportunity because he is coming back. But I do wanna get a photo while he's still here, with the full group, and then also get a photo with the students. And, then let's see where we are after we've done that and see if the agenda's ready. Because all of us have hours of commentary that we could make on Mike, and I want to give everybody the opportunity. So we're gonna go into a short recess, everybody, so we can do a photo op, and then we'll come back, okay? See where we are with the agenda. Board members, you have the updated agenda in front of you. Take just a second to look at it and make sure it's the way that we desired for it to be. And after you've had, and board members that are online, I think you'll see that 97% of the agenda is part of the consent agenda, but I'll try to make sure that everybody that's joining us online that doesn't have a printed agenda has the opportunity to weigh in or ask a question. But I will ask the question at this time, board members. I will now entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Point of order, can I ask council a quick question?
Just a point of order, yes, please do.
And I have a question also whenever it's appropriate.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good.
We're good? Ms. Zoller, you have a question?
No, you mentioned that the people online don't have a copy. Is there not a way to send them a copy of the agenda in the chat or something like that? Or,
Can we get the agenda to those that are joining us virtually?
yeah, just curious, because I know that's been done in meetings like that I've had. That way they have it to look at.
It could even be posted on
Yeah. And
for
it should-
anybody to see.
Right.
It's a public document.
It's a
Is it
public,
in Assembly
correct.
yet? It's in Assembly? Okay, board members that are
perfect.
joining us online,
Yeah, put it in the chat so
In the
everybody
chat
can
on
see.
Teams.
Great,
all
thank you.
right, I'll give it just a minute for that to happen. If any of our board members that are joining us online do not have access to the agenda, would you please let me know?
Stan, we are good to go.
Thank you, Matt. All right.
Well, I'm not.
That's me
I'm
and
not
Frank
yet,
and
but don't-
and Nick, sorry.
I'm sorry, y'all were talking on top of each other. Helen, do you have a question?
Well, I'm not yet having access to it, but y'all don't laugh. I'm trying to get in.
Nobody's laughing. I want to make sure we get this right.
Helen, I
It's
was.
in the
Yeah, I
chat
love you.
in Teams. Helen, if you can locate it there,
Yeah, it's in your chat.
in the chat, in the Teams.
Yeah, there's a
Link.
bubble at the top. It's pretty straightforward, Helen.
All right.
All right.
Let's see.
I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Zoller, second by Kennemore. Any questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Online?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? All right, the agenda is approved. I will now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Valadares. Second by Petty. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, I will now call the question. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda is approved. We have no additional items for a separate vote from budget. We have no items that are pulled for a separate vote from rules. And we have, we have one item that has been pulled, actually for two separate votes, from district flexibility. Mr. Sweeney, would you kind of walk us through this?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We pulled item number 1 and have split that into two separate votes. Item 1 on the approved agenda item is for the approval for the strategic waiver school systems having 6-year contracts.
Mr. Downey?
I was gonna offer a motion that we approve the list of LEAs for 6-year contracts.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the 6-year contracts, the 127 6-year contracts. We have a motion by Downey and a second by Petty. Any discussion? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All in favor of approving these 6-year contracts, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, and Mr. Sweeney?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 2 is the strategic waiver school systems for 1-year contracts, with those systems being Bibb County, Richmond County, and Talbot County.
There is a recommendation that we have a motion to approve the one-year contracts.
How do I get it back?
The one-year contracts for Richmond, Bibb, and Talbot counties. I need a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Valadares, is that a second?
Second.
Second by Zoller. Any further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
And appreciate the board pulling this. And part of the reason I think it's important for us to pull these three together and discuss them is not really for any one district, but we've changed the process on how these we talked about that at length in rules and flexibility yesterday, and the process I'm applauding it. Our staff at DOE has done a great job, and it's been layman's work getting to this point. But the ones that are a 1 year, I didn't want it just to go on the consent agenda without having some real discussion or even just highlighting that they are 1 year, but they're 1 year because these districts have some work to do. That's the reason it's 1 year, is because the reason for this flexibility going back is you get this flexibility for accountability based on performance. And these schools need some work. They need some help. They need to really buckle down. And hopefully next year they'll be here and they'll be getting 6-year contracts because they've done what's needed to help and get themselves in a position where the state, i.e. we in the department, are comfortable with those 6-year flexibilities. But that's really it, because I wanted to bring light to that and it just not go on the other 100 items of the consent agenda, so that we can have that, so the stakeholders can know as well too, hey, wait, what's going on, for the people that don't know or understand or aren't, that want to know. I think it's just from a public policy standpoint, best for this board to pull that out, to highlight and accept that there's some challenges there, but we need to help them. And I know Stephanie Johnson and her team are awesome, and full faith that they'll get in and work with them, but that's this process we're going through, and that's why they're at 1 year.
But a point of clarification, because Mike used the term schools, these are systems.
Systems, I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay.
LEAs.
Yeah, and so the important part is, as Mike pointed out, is the improvement that needs to be made, number one, but something that we're gonna be revisiting in short order, because 12 months from now, we're gonna have this on our plate again.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not too far. We all know how quickly that time moves and so forth. So you know, they're going to get the support they need. The challenge is, I shouldn't say the challenge, the task is to embrace that support and do what's best for the students in those systems.
And really, it's even less than a year, because what we're dealing with here is budgets and the ability for these systems to operate in a functional way related to their budgets. So this means we may have to take this up in January, February of next year. And also, it is a real challenge, in a way, throwing the gauntlet down for Bibb, Richmond, and Talbot County to show the leadership that it's going to take in the communication and the teamwork, because we want these systems to be successful. We want all of these systems to be successful. We're not only the best place in the country to do business, we should be the best place in the country to be educating children. And so I don't think these systems should feel like they're being singled out. They're only being singled out because they only asked for a year, which puts a